a Gifford, Pete.
Isn't it great?
That's just jealousy on your
This
part.
is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of
Ooh.
pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Giff.
And Pete, what are we doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm excited for this one. We are going back to 1988. We are opening the yearbook.
That's what I
There it
meant
is.
right there.
To 1988. Was I not supposed to give away the year yet?
No,
Well,
you're
no,
good.
yeah,
Was I
open the
supposed to
yearbook.
Build.
Yeah.
We're opening the 1988 yearbook, and fellas,
100,
it's a
103rd
fantastic
episode,
year.
and we're still fumbling through. It's
I
awesome.
still
I've lost
have
count.
my
I've
1988
lost
sixth
count.
grade yearbook somewhere in my house here.
Oh, I would love to see that. I have them somewhere, the middle
No, you wouldn't.
school and all the middle school ones. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
those.
I got all three middle school ones somewhere.
Wow.
So, hey, why
I'd
don't
like
we
to-
talk about our memories of 1988 then, quick? That's how we usually start.
Excellent.
All right.
Pete?
Well, I'll go first. This was actually kind of a transitional year for me because I've talked about it on the show before, but this is actually the year that we moved off of the farm and into town. We had built a new house. My parents did. It was actually a really nice home, but we only lived in it for 4 years, but it was a great 4 years.
It was.
It was.
I
This
agree.
was, Brad. I mean, we were always good friends, but this was the start of when it really became outstanding. It was
Oh,
really
that's
the
true.
meat and potatoes of our friendship, right? And so, um, because this was because you moved into town. Were you already in town when we were? Or
No,
was it
no,
after?
no, no, no. But I was
It
in
was
every
after.
summer.
That's what it was. You're always at your grandma's, and so we could ride bikes to wherever you were, and we would go. We'd join up with Haken, and yeah, man, we'd play baseball every single day outdoors, just like kids are supposed to do, and never really do anymore. We played tennis. Um, all the time. I promise you that between us, we spent more hours on the tennis court than probably anybody else in the history of the
Oh, boy.
entire town. I can't
That
think
might
of
be
anybody.
true. You never saw
I
anybody
really
there.
do think so. Right. You drive by there all the time, and there's never anybody there except for when we were at this age. We were always looking for stuff to do, and we always found great things. We had Nintendo. We played that, but that was usually at night or when it was raining or something like that. But
That's true. Or after we had been
So-
outside and got tired.
yes, exactly. But yeah, that's really a lot of great memories of that 4-year period right there. Man, that's where I would like to go back to if I had a time machine. How about you, Brad?
So yeah, I'm not going to add a whole lot of new. I don't have many things written down, if you can believe it. My memory,
What?
usually remembers everything. But
Yeah. Steel trap.
I was still living on the farm, but in the summer, I would get up every morning, and my mom or my dad would drive me into town and drop me off at my grandma's house. Both my grandparents lived in Tyler. And so I would hang out there, and my bike was in town, and I would be able to this is 6th and 7th grade, so I wasn't working and could do anything I wanted. We'd ride our bike to the pool, we'd go swimming. I'd ride my bike to your house, we'd play baseball, and because Pete had this big, huge backyard, like an open lot. So
Yes.
we could play baseball back there.
Yep.
We'd go to wherever. We'd go down to the pool park. We'd go to the other baseball diamonds. We could go out to the golf course. And
We played
it
a
was just
lot of Nerf basketball. A lot of
Nerf
Nerf basketball.
basketball.
Bruising. We had slam dunk contests. A lot of pushing around in the paint too.
And it was
Getting
also
slammed
like
into
prime
closets.
Nintendo time, so we were playing all the great Nintendo
Oh, God,
games, and it was just you're right, it was a really fantastic time, and I could still live on the farm and have like that, because I did like that. Like looking back, I had a great experience out there, but being able to have it was basically like I lived in town in the summer, which is the best time to do it anyway. So very lucky my grandparents lived there. I do remember. This is the end of 6th grade then and the beginning of 7th grade. And I was so nervous to go to middle school, like I couldn't hardly handle it. And sixth grade was it was kind of rough, start. But by the end of sixth grade, I think I had adjusted. And then seventh grade was like one of my best like years actually,
Mhm.
where I felt like I was kind of like fit in with older kids and like
Yeah,
kind of even cool for a while, for one moment
that
in
was a
time.
brief stint.
But like in seventh, yeah, it was in seventh grade. I remember like me and Gifford, we were drummers and we were hanging out with
Mhm.
Jared and Kevin and eighth
Yeah.
graders, and it was a great time. And so
Oh man,
it
you
was a
did
comfortable,
really well with
comfortable
the
time.
ladies too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually was gonna say I had a lot of girlfriends at this time too, which all dried up right in high school. So it was a good time.
Quite the Don Juan
But I got to
in middle school.
try out some new things there. So
Awesome.
Giff.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's expand on that comment a little
No,
bit
I
right
think that was
there.
enough.
No, that's good.
You experience certain things.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so again, this was sixth grade into seventh grade. So sixth grade was where Brad and I became friends. We were, he was my nemesis in fifth grade, but sixth grade is where we started to our friendship blossomed.
This
So
really
that was
was
a
a big year. Holy cow.
big deal.
Uh,
So I'm gonna skip ahead to the spring of sixth grade, and I remember going to Lori's party in the spring. That was a
Yep.
big time for me. I didn't really get to do many sleepovers, so I stayed at Dan Lovery's, and I think Brad, you might have been. Was it the three of us and Dan
I don't know,
thanks
that
for
were
maybe.
the
hanging out?
thanks for the invite. I lived right across the street.
Oh, that's probably why you didn't stay over because you were right
You
across the
know
street.
what though? It wouldn't have been until you said spring. We didn't
Yeah.
move until August,
Oh,
actually. So
oh,
you're
oh, oh, oh.
forgiven.
Oh,
Okay,
so
You're
you
thank
weren't
you.
even in
forgiven.
town in the summer.
Right.
I wasn't.
Oh,
I
well,
guess I wasn't.
I guess those
Well,
memories were all just made up. What a
and you
waste.
guys
Forget
were,
that.
like Pete was moving into town this year. I lived on the farm all the way through.
Let me say
Um,
this though, Brad. I want to go back to that comment because I spent a lot of time because while the house was being constructed, we had already started to see the potential, and we did start playing
Oh,
some
okay.
baseball and whatnot in
Well,
that
and
yard during that summer.
my stuff, I mean, I still was in town. We still hung out all the time. It maybe just
Yes,
wasn't
we did.
quite the way we described.
so
Yeah.
this would have, I believe, also been the summer of the Russell Centennial. So I remember being in
Oh,
town for that. Our
Really?
Dairy Days celebration was the summer celebration of Russell, so that was kind of fun. But then the seventh grade year started, and this was the first year of school sports in
oh
seventh
yeah.
grade. So
Football. Ball.
this is where I hit my peak of physical ability was in seventh grade because our first game of football, I caught my one and only touchdown pass from
Wow.
Joe Gruce, quarterback.
Oh my.
Um, so that was probably the highlight of my football career. I fell in love with the stand-up defensive end position at that point. Never got to play it in high school at the varsity level, but I loved playing defensive end, and I think I
I want
was
you.
a
Hey,
less than
I, I,
speedy wide receiver on the offensive side.
I want you to describe that touchdown. Was it a 50-yard bomb? Was it what kind of route did
Well,
you
we only played
run?
on a
So
40-yard field. You would start at the 40, I remember.
So the way I
Oh,
remember it was I ran like a jet pattern and nobody was on me. And I turn around and all I see is the line and the ball just come flying out from behind the line. Just a rainbow. I'm sure Joe was getting some pressure. So this ball's just hanging in the air. There's nobody around me. And it finally comes down and drops, and I've got to turn and run maybe 5 yards. And by that point, the defender had caught up to me and like tackled me into the end zone for the touchdown. But I
I
just
was gonna
remember
say
not
what
even being able to see Joe when he threw it, and it just like came out of the pile. So
you should have
that was
slowed up a little bit so that you could make a diving catch.
I had to I was completely stopped, and I think I might have had to go back for the pass just a tiny bit, but yeah, so I
Okay.
got caught as I went into the end zone. But then we got basketball, and when we started basketball in seventh grade, we were split into three 6-man teams. and
Really?
Mr. Copel would play 2 of those teams every game. So every game, 6 kids would sit because
I
they'd have
remember
18
that.
kids out there. So
I don't
what he
remember
did
that
was
at all.
he split them into the red, white, and the blue team. So
I
the
remember
red
that.
team was
Yeah,
the
that's
studs.
right.
The white team were the middle of the pack, and the blue team was, the kids who couldn't, tie their shoelaces.
And so we had
Guess which
6
team all of us were on?
Well, that's the thing. I told you I hit the peak of my athletic ability at the beginning of the year. By some mistake, I made the red team, the highest team, but that was quickly remedied, and I was put back on the white team, I think, after like maybe 1 game. So I was relegated to the middle team. But yeah, so you'd sit, he'd play either the red and the blue team or the blue and the white team, and and just kind of rotate them.
That's how he would rotate them in. Blue team, get in there, and then the whole.
So basically, we had
that
12
means in
kids.
our little class we had 18 kids out for basketball too. That's
in
a lot.
7th
But
grade.
there was some there was some sharing between the grades. Wasn't there? That's how they made up for.
I don't
it
think
could have
so,
been
because there was
7th and
8th
8th.
grade. No, there was
Yeah.
8th grade. We were just the 6th or the 7th grade boys.
Yeah, I
basketball
think that's
team.
right though. I don't remember playing with any older kids.
No, I don't either. So that was the peak of my athletic ability, was making the red team right out of the bat, and then
Congratulations.
quickly falling down to where I probably should have been. So those are the big memories for me for 6th and 7th grade.
Well, I gotta say, Giff, you really brought it home there. Usually I have
Always
the best
does.
memories, but you really had it tonight.
Thank you.
Always does.
Thank you.
All right, so this is
man.
our new format. We got off last month with our self-indulgent milestone month, but
Self-indulgent. I like that word.
self-indulgent. But we're back now to drafting our favorites of the year to lead into our big picks coming up here. And so in a pre-recorded ceremony, we have chosen the order of everything. And so are you guys ready to get right into it, or?
I am. I'm very excited because
this.
I get to go first in TV.
So we're starting with the TV of 1988. And Gifford's going to go first, then Pete, and then me for this one.
Excellent.
All right. So what's your first? I know what you're going to pick.
Do it.
Well, why don't you go ahead and pick for me, because you know what I'm going to pick.
Is it the Wonder Years?
Don't do it.
It is the Wonder Years,
I knew it.
without a doubt. Got to go with Kevin and Winnie and Paul, Wayne. I love the Wonder Years. That is my number 1 pick with a bullet.
And this is when it debuted. It actually debuted. I just saw it today. It debuted actually the day we're recording this here. 35 years ago today, and it debuted after the Broncos-Redskins Super Bowl game.
Well, and what I loved about that show was these kids were exactly our age, but just set 20 years, in the past. So they were going through middle school when we were going through middle school and high school.
But
being
in Tyler was about like being 20 years in the past anyway, so it was right on.
Sure.
This is like the original water cooler show for middle schoolers. We would talk about this show every day, the day after it aired, and talk about Winnie and Paul, and we just loved this show.
I remember standing by the water cooler all the time.
All right, Pete, it's your pick.
My pick, huh? Well, I'm going to start with Cheers.
That's a solid pick.
That's a good pick.
Probably would have been my pick, I suppose.
I'm guessing I know what your pick is going to be. I won't tell you, though, but I'll tell you after you say it.
Well, I think I'm between 2 good choices. Well, 1 good choice and 1 maybe not as good choice. I'm going to pick Newhart.
Good choice. Nice pick.
This is right, in the last year or 2 of Newhart, and I was watching it every week, and I love that show by that time for sure. So
not what I thought you were going to say.
I know what you were going to say. We'll see when it comes up.
You think? Yeah,
I think
Gifford
may take it. Okay, so I didn't say this at the beginning, but I am limiting myself to the stations that I watched. So I will not have anything from NBC or Fox, because I only got ABC and CBS.
Fox.
Well, there was a little
Fox
bit
was
of
just coming out.
It
wasn't so 87.
So what was it? Friday through Sunday, I think, was about it. for what Fox was on for. But
Oh,
anyway, so
is that what it was? Oh.
I think so when it first started. So my
Yeah, it
number
was just like
two,
weekends, I think.
yeah, my number two is going to include my first boyhood crush, and that is Who's the Boss with Alyssa Milano.
Well, we talked about her ad nauseum last week, didn't we?
That's
It's
right.
never ad nauseum. Never ad nauseum when you talk
Me
about
too.
her. All right, Pete.
All right. Always a solid pick. I have to go with the Golden Girls.
Ah,
That
that's
would
not what you thought I was
been.
going to pick, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It is not what you were going to pick. I left that to you.
Cheers and the Golden Girls. That's a rock solid start there.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna pick this one just because
I'm gonna win the poll.
I'm gonna pick this one just because I think this is what Pete thought I would pick, and truly at this time it probably was one of my favorite shows. Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, you
that's not it.
sniped
That's
me.
not what I thought you were gonna
That's
pick.
not it
not
either.
what- Oh my God, no!
Wow.
Wow, you took. Oh, you
Brock
son of a-
Toon himself, Mr.
That's
Belvedere.
Sorensen, you have taken two of my top five.
Sorry.
Good Lord. Well, I will take my remaining top five here, and I'm going to go with the Seavers in Growing Pains.
The Seavers. I'm really curious what Pete thought I was going to pick now.
I'm going to have to pull my other list up here.
I'm
I didn't
gonna-
think you
I'm
guys
gonna
were taking
snipe
who you're
you
going
on
to
it.
take.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you're-
snipe you on it because
Okay.
It seems like this was right in the prime of the Cosby Show.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I couldn't. I thought that would have been one of the first.
It would have
Taken.
been, yeah, it would have been right towards like the end of when it was really good. It would have been really good still.
It was
So-
like right in the middle of the run. It went to 84 through 92, didn't it?
And I
Something like
probably
that?
I probably should have picked it over Mr. Belvedere if I was really. But
It
I'm looking
was your
back on
favorite
both.
show.
Mr. Belvedere is kind of like embarrassing to say. Cosby
Oh, I
Show,
don't
I
know.
have bad feelings about.
There's nothing embarrassing about the Cosby Show at all.
No, I didn't finish. The Cosby Show I have bad feelings about because of the last couple of years, how terrible it was, and then of course Bill Cosby himself. So
Right. Now I'll add the disclaimer that we always do. We do not, on Pop Culture Yearbook, we do not condone the actions of our subjects. However,
Very well done.
at the time, the Cosby Show, we're just looking at the show at face value.
Mm-hmm.
oh my
Go
god,
on.
Who's Larry
And
picking?
dog. Larry the dog. All right.
sorry about that.
That's okay. He's cute. You
All
have
right,
to.
I am
you have
going
post
to
more
make
of
for my
Larry.
third pick another show that I watched every week. That maybe wasn't, a great show, but it was still, you got a lot of good memories. Alf.
That's a good
Excellent.
one. I had that on my list.
Was that
again,
what
remember,
Larry?
I'm 12 years old at this time.
Was that what Larry was picking?
no,
Was he
of
saying
course.
Elf? Elf? No.
Yeah, he was telling me what to pick. He's that smart.
He's that smart. Okay, so now that my top five are gone, my number four, I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with MacGyver.
Wow.
Damn. All right. My pick.
All ABC for GIF.
Yep.
Well, I'm going NBC with this next one. I'm going Night Court.
There you go. See,
Nice
that's another
court.
one that, honestly, Pete, you probably have what I should have picked for each one, but that's okay.
I think
I'm
Pete
really,
is gonna
I'm
run away
really
with this
liking
on
my
the-
lineup so far.
Yeah, you're gonna run away with this on Twitter, I think.
All right. Well, so knowing that I'm going to lose anyway, I was going to save this one for my fifth spot, but I'm going to pick it now because I'm going to tell you right now, I was obsessed with this for 2 weeks in 1988, and that is the Calgary Winter Olympics.
Oh, nice pick.
It was like one of the first Olympics that I really watched, and the first winter ones for sure. And I was just glued to the TV for 2 weeks.
Do you remember
and I just loved it.
highlights?
What?
Did you look up any highlights from that Winter Games?
Not now, but I mean, I remember Debbie Thomas and Katarina Witt figure
that the
skating.
Brian
Brian
and Brian?
Boitano and Brian Orser
Yeah,
from Canada.
That was huge. Yeah,
Um,
that's a great pick.
Dan Jansen must have been involved for sure, and maybe Bonnie Blair, I think, too. I don't know. There was so much,
No,
so
that
many
might
good
have been
stories.
a little. That might
I
have been a
think
little
that I think
later.
that was 92 for Dan.
This was
Jansen.
also the year of
Well, he
the
probably
first
was in it
Jamaican
then.
bobsled team, I think.
Oh,
Cool
Oh,
Runnings
that could
was
be.
Cool Runnings was set in the '88 Olympics, I believe.
Yeah, I think
I
you're correct on
still,
that.
by the way, am obsessed with the Winter Olympics. I love the Winter Olympics. It's much better than the Summer Olympics for me.
That should have been your fifth pick then.
Well,
All right, Giff, what's your
I've
last
got
TV?
a good lineup.
My last is one I've talked about many times on this. I haven't seen it since it went off the air, but I remember having fond memories of watching Belky Bartakamus in Perfect Strangers.
Oh, that's a good one.
And a perfect ABC sweep for Giff.
Thank
I
you.
think, Gifford, you and I once successfully performed the Meepopian Dance of Joy.
We probably did on more than one occasion.
I remember it like before Fayed once.
Mhm.
All right, Pete,
excellent.
what's your last one?
I'm going to close it out with Family Ties.
Ooh, that's what I was going to pick.
Pete,
So you got that too.
Brad, don't even post our list. Just put Pete's up there for
Well,
voting.
Pete has a perfect NBC lineup, and it is the Thursday, which wasn't the Thursday night lineup anymore at this time. Night Court and Family Ties had both moved, but the all-time
Family
great.
Ties was on
And if you're
Sunday.
listening to this, I chose for 1985 Cheers, Night Court, Family Ties, Cosby Show, the NBC Thursday night lineup, and you could go listen to us talk about that wonderful lineup back then.
And you should. And I would like to point out to our listeners who cannot see this, Pete's already taken a victory lap on his
That's
win.
right. I got up.
on
I got
Twitter.
up. I did the Costanza. It says, "All right, I'm out of here."
Well, I'll put it
All
this
right.
way: if I was voting for the best one, I would vote for Pete too. But if I was
Yeah.
if I wanted to watch 5 random episodes of these right now, I'm picking mine because I haven't watched most of them for a long time, and I would have a lot more fun watching my list.
Yeah.
And my last one, the only other bolded title I have here was going to be Family Ties or this, and Pete picked Family Ties. My choice is My Two Dads.
Oh,
Starring Paul Reiser and Greg Evigan and Stacey Keenan, who I loved, along with her and Wayne
I
Cooper and Alyssa
had-
Milano. It was a good time for
I had a
12-year-olds.
major crush on her.
Yeah.
Yes. Dick Butkus was also on that
Dick
show.
Butkus, correct. All right, so there's our TV. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Any others that we didn't get to that stand out?
The ones I had listed were Kate and Allie,
Mhm.
the Hogan Family with Jason Bateman. Dear John had started in the last Thursday night spot now.
Judd Hirsch. I had that
Yep.
one. Yeah.
My Sister Sam, which had a nice run for a year or two, and then that girl got shot. Remember that story?
Yes.
We actually talked about
Yes.
it because that song,
Yes.
the guy that shot her said he did it because of the U2 song Exit.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Another NBC show was Day by Day on Sunday nights. It ran with Family Ties. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was on that show, and Courtney Thorne-Smith.
Hello.
And the only other one I had written was the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, which had made like a kind of a comeback there, and that's how I learned of the Smothers Brothers and enjoyed watching it.
I was going to take that as my 5th, but I didn't watch it as much as Perfect Strangers. So I was going with my top 5 of what I was watching. So that's why I didn't go with the Smothers Brothers. I had a couple extras. I had Monday Night Football.
Oh yeah.
Head of the Class.
Yes.
Designing
Howard
Women.
Hessman.
Yeah. I had China Beach, Wise Guy, Full House, Simon and Simon, and Tour of Duty were the other ones that I had on my list.
A lot of serious shows.
Mm-hmm. When you only have 2 channels, you got to kind of stick with what you got.
I think the only couple that haven't been mentioned, the A-Team and Moonlighting.
Oh, Moonlighting was on then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empty Nest. Yeah. Empty Nest also. Do you remember that show?
I do remember that show.
That was pretty good.
All right. Well, those are excellent. And Brad will be posting that list and all of the lists we make tonight on our socials. So please go on.
Just mine.
And be sure to vote for Pete for television.
Yes.
Even though I didn't watch. Go ahead.
I need it because I usually do poorly on these polls, and I need this one.
Gifford will run the farm vote.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
That's his target market. His demo.
I need like Gilling on my side on that one, and I need a few
Unless
folks to
like
chime
me,
in.
they had a satellite because I lived on a farm, but it doesn't apply here.
Gifford's got the farm vote.
Damn it.
All right, so we ready for music then?
I believe we
am.
are.
All right, so this one I'm first, and then it's Gifford, and then Pete.
All right. Can I
All
pick your
right.
first one?
Boy, I got a lot of ways I could go here. I
Yeah,
really
you
didn't want to
do.
be first necessarily. Oh, here, you know what I'm going to pick? So we mentioned how, we were learning new things and I had
Mhm.
girlfriends and everything.
Oh,
So
you're
my
not gonna do
girlfriend
it.
and I at this time had a song, and it was our song, and we loved it. And it was Aerosmith Angel. And so
Yeah.
that's going to be my pick, which that takes off the Permanent Vacation album too. So
Well, no, you
just in
picked the
case.
song, not the album.
Oh, I thought if you picked the song, then that
No.
You,
Well, the way we did it
Just pick.
before, you could pick
It
the
doesn't
song
matter.
and not the album.
All right. Well,
Okay.
anyway, Angel by Aerosmith. That was makes me think of Annie.
That's a big one.
Whirlwind Romance
the
back in
album.
1988.
All right. I will go with my number one pick as Rattle and Hum.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yes, sir. You got Desire, Angel of Harlem, When Love Comes to Town with B.B. King. I mean, that is a banger and a
I
half.
should have picked that first. Then I guess I didn't think
Well,
you
if
would
you
go.
didn't pick that, I was going to go with Aerosmith.
Really funny.
Yeah. Come on, it's Aerosmith for crying out loud.
All right, Pete.
I will go with Hysteria, Def Leppard.
That was
That's
87. We did a whole year on that.
1987. We did an entire episode during the year of
God damn
1987.
it.
Now you could pick a song that wasn't released until 1988, but I don't think you did your homework
No,
for that.
now
so.
I don't trust my list here.
We gotta have one every single episode.
I mean, we only did it in 1987 on this show.
Right, yeah. Hey, Pete, great album. I'm not gonna argue that was
Well, and it was huge in
phenomenal.
1988. And if he wanted to pick the biggest song by itself, he could do that. Hint, hint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go a different route. I am going to go with Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
You son of a biscuit! God dang it!
Well, how's that for a recovery?
Oh,
Doesn't bother me, but clearly it bothers Giff.
shoot. I thought I could let that go to my 2 seed. I did not think you two were gonna pick that one up.
All right,
Dang
well,
it,
my next pick is going to be my next favorite song from that year, which is probably not going to snipe either of you, but it's going to be a good one. And that is Prince. So I'm picking the Love Sexy album, but specifically the song Alphabet Street, which is like my favorite Prince song,
so
and I
good.
memorized it over and over. God, I love that song.
That is a banger. That is a great pick.
Thank you.
I am gonna go with Buenos Noches from a Lonely Room by Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about at first.
That has got I Got You, I Sang Dixie, Streets of Bakersfield on it.
That's some good stuff right there.
That is some very, very, very good stuff. So I'm going with that one.
What do you think, Giff? Is Pete going to pick something from 1988 here?
I'm
guessing
here.
it's going to be either Office Space.
He
or
looks like
Breaking
he's
Bad.
thinking really hard. The Office.
This
You
is
know
a
what?
little bit. All right, I got a good one here.
He got too excited about his TV picks and everything went off the rails.
I got a good one, Brad. You're gonna be a little surprised by this, maybe, but "Don't Be Cruel" by Bobby Brown.
Oh, that's on my list. That was maybe gonna be my next pick.
That was my number 5. Nice pick,
One of my
Pete.
first
You're taking
CDs
all
that
of
I
my
ever owned.
all of my picks, Pete.
Great
Killing me.
pick. We all loved Bobby Brown.
Mm-hmm. And I remember in 8th grade band when we did that song melody, My Prerogative was in that, and I was playing the trap set for that with Brad on the hi-hat. And My Prerogative was part of that melody.
All right, so I'm gonna do what like Pete could have done here. So I'm picking In Excess. I cannot pick the Kick album because it came out in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 of its big hits came out in 1988, actually. Never Tear Us Apart, New Sensation, and Devil Inside. And I can only pick one, I guess.
Yep, you can only pick one.
So I'm going to go with Devil Inside of those three for my choice.
Such a good song.
I would pick Need You Tonight, but that apparently was the first single, and it was out in 1987. See, I did my homework.
Yes, you did. Okay. I am going to go with Open Up and Say Ah by Poison, which includes Nothing But a Good Time, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, Your Mama Don't Dance. So that is my number 3 pick.
All right.
I've got an REM coming. One coming, Brad.
You're going to steal
Green.
REM from me, too.
He's going to take, yep. I
Green.
almost took that, but I had to go Poison.
I was hoping I could get that later since it wasn't something we listened to until later, so I was hoping I could steal it at the end.
But with Stand and Orange Crush on there, I mean, good Lord, that's some good stuff.
All right, so if that is off the board, that is off the board. See, I'm the album guy here, and I haven't even picked an album yet, and I'm still not going to. But at 12 years old, I wasn't listening to many albums. It was mostly songs and mixtapes. Sure. So I'm going to go with the Bangles. And my other song with my girlfriend, Eternal Flame.
Oh God, what a great
But they also, the song In Your Room came out during that year too, which was also awesome by the Bangles.
Okay. This is tough. I think I'm going to go with I think I'm going to go with Forever Your Girl by Paula Abdul with Opposites Attract, Straight Up, and Cold Hearted.
That's a good one. You're picking the albums.
Opposite Attracts. Well, I figure that it takes more options away from you guys, so it's really more of a
the problem is some of my albums didn't come out in this year, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like you're Kicked In. That's such a great album.
I'm going to throw some Metallica in there and Justice for All.
Nice.
Released on September 7th, 1988.
There you go.
Happy birthday, Ryan Hummel.
Is that his birthday?
That's the drummer from Preacher Row. You know that guy?
Wow.
He's a killer. I didn't know when his birthday was.
I knew when the release date was is because I'm double checking the dates.
I thought you were just saying that because Ryan Hummel is like the biggest Metallica fan ever. That's amazing.
He is.
Pete is researching on the fly.
All right, so I've only got one pick left. Oh boy, there's so many ways I could go here. I'm gonna pick. So I have several songs I could pick that I loved at that time. I'm gonna pick one that I didn't really know until probably 3 or 4 years later, and that is Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. It Takes Two.
Oh, it's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, shoot. So I was so excited before your pick, Brad, because I had 2 that I liked, and I thought, well, maybe if you take them, I'll just go with the other. But my 2 are still there. I am going to go... I'm going to go with Look Sharp by Roxette. Ooh. Listen to Your Heart and Dangerous on there.
Nice.
That is my last pick.
That's a good one.
All right, Pete, last music pick.
This one I'm picking. It was released in 1987. I get it. But I'm saying it because I remember the exact date that I received this cassette tape, and you guys were both there. It was on my birthday, February 19th, 1988, and I'm well aware of it, but I'm still going with Out of the Blue because that was still big in 1988. Debbie Gibson.
All right, I guess we have to give it to you because you're being very demanding.
I'm going for it. I'm going along with it because
I'm sure you could just look it up and pick a song that was released in 1988, and
but it really doesn't matter because he's the last. That's the last pick. He's not like he's sniping something. So
right.
for our wives, I would like to point out that Hangin' Tough came out this year.
Yep.
My
Yep.
New
I
Kids
think
on the Block.
Dirty Dancing also did it not?
And believe it or not, we have an episode on
yeah.
the New Kids on the Block. If you go back about a year from now,
Yeah,
so you could
Yes,
listen
that's
to it if you
thanks.
didn't know.
little over a year, wasn't it? February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a Valentine's Day special month.
Yep.
February was the Ladies' Choice month.
That's right.
I would like to point out one song in particular. Lita Ford's "Kiss Me Deadly" was a very horny song for me as a
horny
as a 12-year-old boy. That
right,
was a banger.
That's your only other one?
Well, I got a bunch, but you guys go ahead.
Well, here's the ones I had written down. So the song "Look Away" by Chicago was huge.
Oh, yes.
I did have Bobby Brown. Here's one that I didn't get until 3 years later when I watched my favorite movie of all time, L.A. Story. But Enya's "Watermark" with Orinoco Flow actually came out in 1988.
Okay.
Journey's Greatest Hits, which was the first CD I ever bought, came out in 1988. The one that everybody probably had.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mike and the Mechanics, the song "The Living Years," that I almost picked that. I love that song so much back then.
Do you remember when we sang that in middle school choir?
Oh my God, did we really? That's right.
We did, and you and I would sit there and go, "Say it, say it, say it loud." And
we were so
we sang it at the festival,
the
music choir festival in Marshall.
Well, and hopefully my sister is listening to this, but I also remember when she won the Tyler's Junior Miss and she went to the state pageant, they did a routine to this song up there too, and I can still remember it, and I loved that song so much.
Yeah. Well, and I would like to
add, I was a proud brother watching.
What a phenomenal representative.
And then
Tyler.
The only other one I had down is another one I got later, but the Cowboy Junkies, one of my favorite bands of the 90s, had the Trinity Sessions came out that year, which had the their cover of Lou Reed's Sweet Jane on it.
Oh, that's a good one.
So those were my other options that I had. You got anything?
What do you got?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, I got a
pretty
few
much
others
hit on mine already.
I'd like to throw in there. Van Halen's "When It's Love" came out. Also, "Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone" by Cinderella.
Oh, that's a good one.
"Roll With It" from Steve Winwood. Cheap Trick had "Don't Be Cruel." And then Nitty Gritty Dirt Band also came out with an album that year, Working Band. With Working Man, I've Been Looking, and Down the Road Tonight were some other highlights for me. So, and for Dave, I would like to point out that He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince came out this year, and their title or the first track was "Nightmare on My Street." That went along with the Nightmare number 4 that we covered with Dave. So figured I'd throw that in there.
Anything else, Pete?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, Pete gets to kick us off for movies. He's excited.
So we're going to talk a lot of movies this month because 1988 was one of the best years looking back that I could ever imagine for movies.
That's why I was so excited.
And it was the hardest choice I think I've ever made for what to pick. And I still don't know if I picked the right one or not.
There's just so many great ones. And what I'm excited for is to see whether or not Pete remembers to pick his choice.
So, I'm looking at it right now, dumbass.
Pete is going first for movies, and I think we know what he's going to pick.
Yes. The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen. This was, we had seen Airplane. We had all seen Airplane before, which was a great movie. But this is where I really fell in love with this type of movie, goofball comedy kind of thing. And that's what we're going to be doing our episode on, the one that I picked later this month. Stay tuned. Next week.
Yeah, it's next week.
So that'll be fun. All right, so I'm picking second. Oh my God. I'm not probably going to pick the movie that I picked for our episode.
Sure.
No, I'm not, because I'm going to pick Die Hard.
That's a great
mean, how
pick.
can you
I
not
figured
pick
it was
Die
between
Hard?
that and your choice. I mean,
So I didn't pick Die Hard for our episode, but we're going to get to that later sometime, so it'll come.
here's the thing. It's the first pick for me, but there are no bad choices here. So I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with Bull Durham.
Ah,
I
damn you.
absolutely love that movie. It may come up later this month. I haven't made my choice yet, but that is high on my list for this month. Pete.
All right. I will go with Beetlejuice.
Nice.
That's a great pick. I love that. All right, Brad.
Okay. God, I got two. Well, next, no, I got three. I'm going through here.
They're all
Let's
great
see.
choices.
How do you make your decision? Well, I'm going to go with Tom Hanks and pick Big.
Nice.
I mean, movies don't get much better than that.
No, they don't. All right. Well, God, there's so many good ones. I am going to go with The Great Outdoors.
Oh,
That's a good one.
good. That one's not even on my list. That helps.
Really? Oh,
No,
my.
I really didn't think that movie was very funny.
Really?
It was.
Like, of all those
I
movies
thought it
with
was
all
good.
those actors we love so much, that
Big
one
Bear chase me.
just didn't live up like I thought it would.
Oh, it's
It's
a
okay.
banger.
You know, it's
Well,
fine.
what I like is that I didn't steal something from you. How's that?
Yeah, I know. I think it's great that you picked it.
I think I'm going to snipe Brad on one here.
Well,
I
but
gotta
at
go-
least one of the two that I was going to pick is still open, so.
That's the one.
I-
Right.
I got to go
Go
with
ahead.
Coming to America.
Yep, that was one of them.
That's a big one. Well, and look at that. Then Brad gets to pick his.
So I would love to have picked Coming to America, but instead I'm going to pick A Fish Called Wanda,
it
which
is.
is the
Yep,
movie
I
that
knew
I am
that.
going to offer to our show in 2 weeks.
Okay, so
I knew
now
that's where
I
you were gonna
need
go.
Anything
to-
said so far could have been my number one choice, except for The Great
Yeah.
Outdoors. Every movie that's been said could have been my number one. That's how good these are.
Oh boy. Still so many good ones. I am going to go. No, I'm going to leave that one because I don't think either of you guys will pick it. So I'm good. Okay. I'm going to go with one of Brad's favorite actors, and I'm going with Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Well, see, and that's just like The Great Outdoors. We've talked about this. That's not really my
That's
favorite.
not high on your list. No, I know.
Not for a Steve Martin movie, it's not. I'd watch it.
Mhm.
You know, it's not like I don't like it.
Doesn't blow your skirt up. That's what you're
Nope.
saying.
All right. I'm going to go with one that's, a little bit of a different genre of movie,
Oh, don't do
but
it.
definitely one of the
Oh,
best
boy.
movies of the year. Probably the best movie of the year, like actual
Where's he going
movie.
with this?
I'm going Rain Man.
Rain
yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Good
Brad
pick.
never saw it, did he? Or he just saw
No,
it
remember I
recently?
watched it.
That's
Definitely
right.
saw it.
I
Definitely.
watched it like within the last year, and it was very good.
Hey, thank you.
Kmart
Thank
sucks.
you. All right, what else do I have highlighted here? All right, the next one I'm going to pick is one of those movies that is not a great movie by any means, but it is a movie that I have watched probably 50 times and watched so many times back then, and it's the Coreys' License to Drive,
License to Drive, yeah.
which is actually one that I thought about picking because it's just, it's one of those movies. It's got a lot you can say about it.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
Mhm.
Heather Graham is in it too.
Oh, yeah.
She's the love interest.
Okay, then. Let's see.
Gifford, you'd love it.
I think I might, yeah. Oh. I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on it this time. I love this movie. I've watched it a million times. A little bit different genre, but Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport. The Kumite in full effect. Awesome movie. I highly recommend.
Hold on.
All right, Pete, last but not least.
kind of all my like really, really good ones have been taken
I
already.
still
And
got like 6 left here.
I know, right? It's like,
man,
if you pick everything everywhere all at once, I'm gonna.
If you take any longer, Pete, you might have to actually edit an episode for once.
Whoa! Hey,
I got a good one. Okay. Another serious movie.
Serious.
Mississippi Burning.
Oh, that was what I was gonna pick.
high on the list for all 12-year-olds.
Wow. Good choice. All right, so I could go Chevy Chase.
Mhm.
I could go Fred Savage.
Yep.
Or I could go my favorite TV family of all time, the Bradys.
I knew it.
Caddyshack 2. Caddyshack 2.
Not that Chevy Chase, Pete. Funny Farm. But I'm going to go with a very Brady Christmas.
Very good. I was hoping you would pick it.
Because I was all over that, man. It was great. And then, the only one that didn't come back was Cindy, and they got this hot girl to play Cindy, which everybody loved.
And she was in Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we talked about her.
Right?
God, this show is great doing this. You get so many things come back together.
I think that is the best on-brand pick of the episode.
Yeah, I felt like I had to.
Yeah. Okay.
Well done.
So to close it out here, no, I got my last pick.
Oh,
and I'm kind of between two. But I spoke about this last month as a movie that I love, it's hard to recommend. I'm going with Johnny Be Good.
Oh, yeah. You brought that up.
Not a great flick. Probably not going to garner many votes on Twitter.
Well, it's kind of like my License to Drive pick.
Well, Robert Downey Jr., Michael Anthony Hall, Uma Thurman.
You keep saying Michael Anthony Hall.
You said that about 80 times.
Yeah, Pete. Go get him, Pete.
What did I do now?
You keep saying Michael Anthony Hall.
Sorry. That's my bad.
God. You've done it for like a month straight.
Sorry.
That's what I meant.
All right, I had a few other movies here.
Boo.
One of them was Working Girl with Melanie Griffith and Sigourney Weaver and Harrison Ford.
Oh, another Harrison Ford movie.
Yeah.
Besides,
I saw that one before Star Wars.
That's the only one he's seen.
Indiana Jones and Star Wars, but yeah.
I saw Working Girl, A Witness.
Yep.
And Regarding Henry, that wasn't from '88, by the way. That was just Harrison Ford. I got Chevy Chase, Funny Farm. I kind of thought Pete might pick that one too.
I don't think I've ever seen that one either.
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't think
I watched it not that long
that
ago.
Movie.
It's pretty good.
I feel about that movie like you feel about Great Outdoors.
Yeah, I can see that. And I have two others. Stand and Deliver with Edward James Olmos came out. And then I mentioned Fred Savage. There was one of those body swap movies, Vice Versa.
With Judge Reinhold?
It was Judge Reinhold, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember watching that a whole bunch. Haven't seen it in 34 years, but.
Yeah. Pete, what else you got?
We really kind of stretched my good ones there.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
So maybe we're saying it was top heavy.
Possibly,
it was top heavy.
I mean, and it was. You got Die Hard Big, Fish Called Wanda, Naked Gun, Beetlejuice, Coming to America, Bull Durham. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, they're great across the board. I'm going to add in there Rambo 3. Also, Cocktail. I think also a movie that was high on my list that I don't like to recommend. Young Guns, the first one came out this year.
Oh,
Twins.
Young Guns.
Twins, yep.
Yep. Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Which we have done on this show.
Last but not least, A Land Before Time came out this year.
Yep.
And that was excellent as well.
Well, and I remember when I made this list, I could have gone on and made like a 100 movie list here, but I tried to keep it to the ones that I really wanted to pick. But there were so many other ones that were good that I didn't even write down.
Well, and when you say it's top heavy, that's why it's so hard.
Right. That's why it's hard
to pick.
When you got to do 15. You know,
Well,
we've
no,
got
but
five.
when you got to
movies
pick
each.
one.
when you got to pick
Right.
one for your subject,
Oh, I
it's
see what
just
you
brutal.
mean. Yeah.
But this whole year, because I thought long and hard about picking the Wonder Years too, Gift, because this is the year it started, and I thought about we could watch the first couple episodes. That'd be great.
Yep. It's
You
on
know?
HBO, right?
I don't know, is it?
It's on one of the services, yeah, because I started watching it again.
You know, and obviously there's a lot of good albums and stuff too. So,
Yeah.
but
It's a ton of stuff, but yeah, the movies are tough to beat when you're,
1988's a heavy hitter.
again, you're 12 years old. That's right in your pop culture formative years. So everything this year is big for us. So,
All right.
You know what else is big for us, Gifford?
I think Preacher Row is big for us.
Yeah, you damn right they're big.
Well,
right.
let's hear a little Preacher Row, and thank you everyone for listening, and be sure to check out the online polls on our socials and vote for who you think did the best in each category.
Yes, that's got to be me.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
See you next week.
See ya.